third. California, Oregon State, and Washington State remain in limbo since it's untenable for a conference to exist with only 4 teams. Earlier this week, USC, UCLA, Oregon, and Washington committed to the Big Ten, while Arizona, Arizona State, Colorado, and Utah are expected to head to the Big 12.
WSIC weather sunny today with a high of 88. A chance of showers and thunderstorms tonight and Thursday, mostly cloudy with a low of 70 tonight. Tomorrow's high 84, then sunny and 89 on Friday. Mike Jackson, WSIC News.
What you want, what you want, what you gonna do when Chevy John Brown come for you?
Thank you for joining the good, the bad, and the guilty today on 100.7 FM and 105.9 FM. And as always, before we start, always if you have a question about anything we discuss or anything new, please give us a call, 704-873-1400. And Joe, I can tell the music has changed. Let's see how good you are. Do you know who sings that, what the group's name was?
You know, it's upsetting because I just had it up and I have no idea.
Did it sound like Inner Circle?
It may have.
You know, Joe changing our music is almost as responsive as we are to the community. You asked him last week, said, Joe, let's get our music. Dude, throw it on there. That's what I'm talking about.
And
Joe,
we're not opposed
you the man.
We're not opposed to Guns N' Roses, Bon Jovi.
Justin, if you're listening, sir, and I know you are, Joe
sure.
hooked us up, so that should be good for about another 3% in the paycheck.
You know what's funny is that I was supposed to do that as a prank. I thought you would find
Really?
it funny.
I think it's cool.
I guess that's going to be the thing from now on to intro your show, huh?
Now you do have to make sure that we keep our Alfred Hitchcock music because that is pretty cool.
It is. And also just be aware, we have a good sense of humor, so we may sit back, but we can wait a long time. So was Justin a part of this too?
No, you know, I tested it on my show to see if we would get taken off of Facebook because I know you have so many lovely Facebook listeners.
Yeah, you might get took off Facebook. Yeah,
exactly.
I didn't even think about that.
It's still there. So I said, you know what? Let's have a little fun.
Hey, it's good. I like it. And listen, y'all are doing wonders with the show. Justin called me the other day. Got to do on last Thursday, go on his morning show. If you don't get a chance, you ought to go listen to the shows and support your local business because it is what it is. Y'all doing a good job, and we honestly appreciate us coming on here in our time at 3 o'clock.
And one of our awesome local businesses is represented here today.
Yeah, and if anybody, since we've had all the storm damages, well, first of all, let's get into this. First, a great business always supports law enforcement. Second, if you have an insurance claim, they can call you direct here with all the storm damage at Farm Bureau, right?
Right. Yeah, we've been very, very busy from Monday, hopefully, getting everybody taken care of and that kind of thing. It's been a lot of calls, for sure.
So if a tree falls in my yard, you know what I'm saying?
And nobody hears it, does it still make a noise?
Well, that too. But as long as it don't fall on the house, we can go ahead and cut it up, take pictures.
If it falls in the yard, it just falls in the yard.
So y'all can look at the stump and tell it's really a tree there.
There's no coverage for that.
Okay.
You don't insure trees, so it's kind of like it falls, cut your tree up. It's no different. It falls in the field.
Well, I think some people ask,
for
do
a
I need
specific premium, could I insure a tree?
I mean, if you got a special one, maybe. But if it falls on a structure, then yeah. But we get those calls.
Well, I think a lot of people think they've got to wait or can't move it, but they can. I mean, document it, obviously. And obviously, before we can say cut up anything, make sure there's no power lines.
No power lines, no cable lines, no phone lines.
Always minimize the damage. We always want you to minimize the damage. So if you can go ahead and get someone out, and it's a Saturday, adjusters don't usually work on the weekends. So.
Me and Bill's out for hire. We can come do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just kidding. Ryan will take you with us.
Correct.
Either way, so we'll get on to big people business. As always, Jason, we're glad to have you. Your Farm Bureau is totally supportive of the community, not just us, EMS, but law enforcement. And I think the individual I'll introduce here in just a second is, I think he watches the show. I think we've got him scared to death because he's never got a chance to come on the show.
Right.
But if you look to my right, we have Deputy Ryan Rankins. Ryan has been with the Sheriff's Office for 9 years, and what got him trained was doing 21 years with Walmart. He's a personal trainer. I said I wasn't going to say this. The YMCA for 10 years. That's how me and Bill keeps in top shape. Top shape. That's how we do it. Isn't that right, Ryan?
Right, correct.
He come up with what was it? Well, first of all, you got on it was Ben Harding told him his dog needed to get on a diet. I remember that. Then right after that, he give me a workout sheet.
Now I don't know where my sheet went. It might have mysteriously somehow got lost.
I thought it was a joke. I mean, it's like 300 or something, like 2 times a day. And so either way, you take that serious. But it's cool he played international pro football with Carolina Twisters in Charleston, South Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
But bigger than that, you're an elder on your board at Landmark Church of God. Yeah. And that's a good accomplishment. I know you're a big Christian man. You practice what you preach. You tell our young people. And I think today, before he gets into what we're going to do, I want to give you a shout-out with that. Community pools, fall festivals, daycares, anything in the county. during the
Downtown
summer.
officers.
Currently, you're a SRO at Woodland Middle. And I remember one time when you had to move from, I think it was Brawley? Was going to move. You had to fill in.
Right.
When I get mail from little kids saying that they're going to get their parents not to vote if I moved him.
And I don't mean just one or two.
Oh, I mean, I'm talking
there
about
was
150.
hundreds of pieces of mail you received.
You're doing a good job, but I constantly hear the only complaint I get, and I'm just going to tell you, and you can blame it on Matt if you would like, and that's our guy that's over our crime prevention, is the whistles.
Yeah.
Those are the loudest whistles he gives out everywhere for the parents to have their kids at home. So, but with that being said, I'm going to let Jason, I'm going to let you handle it. I think he kind of maybe knows why he's here, but I don't think he's ever been here. So, let y'all take it.
So, came all around. It was kind of voted all around, and you were selected this month as the Iredell County Farm Bureau Deputy of the Month for your amazing service you do. I mean, and I've got to be around you at Woodland Heights and Lake Norman and stuff like that too, which is cool. But yeah, it's a great job. Thank you for what you do for the community.
Thank you. It's an honor.
Good job, Ryan.
Thank you.
Well deserved, Ryan.
You know, Sheriff, if I may, before Ryan gets a chance to speak, because I know he may have some words on his heart, I just want to say, Ryan, thank you very much for what you do. You are one of those folks that I declare you are one that if something needs to be done, you never fuss. Your only answer is, yes, sir, Sheriff. And it gets done. Now, I know there's a lot of times family may have to take a back seat, church may, every once in a while have to take a back seat, but you are loyal and faithful to the duties of your office, and you are one of those go-to people, and I appreciate you for that.
I appreciate y'all.
We do. You do a great job for community. I mean, we're blessed with good communities, but we're blessed with great officers, and you're exemplary in what you do and the way you present yourself. I mean, it may be, you understand what we say. We would much rather educate than ever rehabilitate a child, and that's where y'all come in. But, I hear it from the Pool in Harmony or Happy Oaks, and I hear a lot of it, how you come around and just hang with the kids, and they appreciate it. So that goes a long way. It goes a long way. So now it's your turn. Now, we'll start you. Tell us a little bit about, SRO, what it's like at Woodland. And I know you do a lot, and I guess we talk about that, but sort of like now during the summer, what are you doing and places you've been and got to see?
During the summer, I've been to all the local businesses in Iredell County. Went to a lot of events, a lot of summer camps, a lot of some soccer camps. Been to some car shows, interacting with a lot of the students I get to see in the summer. That's really good to be able to network with the different individuals throughout the county. School at Woodland Heights, it's like family, to be able to get the trust from the parents, to be able to bring them to school and know they can drop them off, and at the end of the day we return them home safely to their families.
I think that's very important. And you understand the road because you worked the road for a while too. Correct. Before you was, I guess, recruited for school resource officer.
Highly recruited.
Highly recruited.
Yeah,
What's like you
absolutely.
say, you're always going to sign. Ryan knows my thoughts on it, and Bill, you do as well. The professional image, and it don't matter. It can be 110 degrees. Ryan's going to have that hat on and everything. Even though I say, take the hat off, you can chill. He won't take that hat off.
Yeah, there's been many times, especially this summer, as warm as it's been, but I've been going different places during the day and seen Ryan downtown, either in Statesville or in Mooresville, going around checking the downtown businesses, got his hat on, squared away, looking sharp, going in and talking to the people. And Matt, if you're listening at one of our local stores, I know the other day you called me, and Ryan was the first one that he said, please send him up here. I've got a lot of business going on in my store. Can you please send Ryan? Because they know they can trust you, and you know you're going to do a good job.
Right.
So go ahead, Ryan.
It's comes real easy when you have a love for people and you're a people person. So to be able to be out there with the citizens of Iredell County, it's like family, and everybody that's network with Iredell County, it's like family. So we're here to serve and protect.
And we appreciate it, Jason. I can't say enough. Farm Bureau. What'd you do with Doug today? Lose him?
Yeah, lost him.
Okay.
It's too late for the day for him,
That's true. Well, we can't say thank you enough for all Farm Bureau. And everybody listen, Farm Bureau supports us. They're good to our agency and everybody across the county. So
Thank you.
we say thank you 100 times over.
Thank you.
We'll be back.
76 years strong.
Good job, Ryan.
Oh,
You
you-
did.
Still the one. WSIC News Talk Now.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Just a few more weeks until Kane Center for the Arts' first performance of the 2024 fall season lineup. Asheville native Kanan Cox will be performing Friday, August 25th. The show starts at 8 p.m. Kane Center for the Arts 2024 fall season. Buy your season tickets now at kanearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Looking for something fun to do with your kids this summer? Birkdale Buds is hosting their weekly Playtime in the Plaza. Bring your preschool-aged bud for playtime between 10:30 and 12 noon every Wednesday through October. The activities include games, face painting, storytellers, magicians, arts and crafts, plus more. There's no cost and no registration required. Bring a blanket and come join the fun. For more details, visit birkdalevillage.com. Ever wonder what Mooresville was like in 1873? The historic Downtown Walking Tour is a self-guided tour that will take you on a stroll through Mooresville's past to learn about the history of the town. Featuring 18 stops, the tour begins and ends at the corner of Main Street and Center Avenue. It should take 1 hour to complete. For more details, visit downtownmooresville.com. Looking for a night out on the town? Cornelius's second Friday Street Festival series continues, starting at Oak Street Mill at 6 p.m. The second Friday Street Festival series is ongoing through October. Got an upcoming event you'd like everyone to know about? Yard and estate sales, nonprofit fundraisers, and everything in between? Go to WSICnews.com and click on Events to submit your event today.
I'm Nick Rice with your WSIC forecast. As we head into the rest of the afternoon, it's going to stay sunny with a high in the upper 80s. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 70. On Thursday, there's a 60% chance of a shower or a thunderstorm. Otherwise, it's going to be mostly cloudy with a high of 87. Thursday night, 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms before 8. I'm Nick Rice from WSIC's Weather Center.
Black Powder Coffee is celebrating their 10th anniversary with a medium dark roast blend of Indonesian and South American coffee beans. Enjoy the full-bodied natural flavor notes of chocolate with a bright finish. Get Black Powder Coffee's new anniversary blend today at Black Powder Coffee, 261 Rolling Hill Road, Mooresville, or participating retailers everywhere. Black Powder Coffee.
Be a part of the conversation.
I listen on the way to work.
Have your say.
It's more than just opinions, it's facts.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
I never know exactly what kind of music Joe's going to throw at us.
It's kind of hard to
It's
prepare.
either Bad Boys, it's Alfred Hitchcock, it's disco, retro, rap. Anyway.
Wait till he has Sheriff Lobo on. Of course, you don't even remember Sheriff Lobo, do you?
Well, for those of you that are just now tuning in, thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon. You're listening to The Good, the Bad, the Guilty here on WSIC 105.9 FM, 100.7 FM. We just presented Deputy Ryan Rankin of the Iredell County Sheriff's Office. Farm Bureau was gracious enough to present him with a Deputy of the Month award. So, Ryan, again, congratulations for the outstanding work. So now, Sheriff, kind of transitioning from an award-winning deputy to, well,
just Brad.
Brad, I'm picking. You do a great job too, buddy. But Sheriff, I know that one of the things that's near and dear to your heart is making sure that the citizens of Iredell County are safe. And I can't think of a more important job that falls under the purview of you, not just you, but all elected sheriffs in the state of North Carolina. Several years ago, all the elected sheriffs in North Carolina were tasked by the legislature with maintaining the sex offender registry and tracking and verifying all the registered sex offenders that aren't in prison, that are out on our streets, in our communities, around our communities, and our women and our children and our families here in North Carolina. And when I think Sheriff Redmond started it, he started the program and folded it in under the Special Victims Unit, and that's where that position still resides. But since you become sheriff, I know you put an absolute premium on that position and the folks that we have doing this. And as we get involved, and I know we've got some questions, we have some questions for Brad. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any questions about registered sex offenders, about the Registered Sex Offender Compliance Program, how we keep up with these men and women that are on the registry, please give us a call here at the station at 704-873-1400. Again, that's 704-873-1400 as we talk about this very important topic.
Yeah, and I think you're exactly right. The sheriff's responsible. There's certain things that we do, the concealed carries things, but one of the biggest things is keeping up with the sex offender logs. I call them logs, but we maintain a book and a record at the front of the office. But the law says we just have to maintain and verify, I'd say basically when we can, but we went above and beyond that because we actually have two people that are assigned to make sure it may be 4 o'clock in the morning, it may be 6 o'clock, it may be midnight. They're going and actually physically knocking on doors to make sure where the sex offenders are where they say they're supposed to be within the times they're supposed to be there. And another big thing is, the biggest time of the year we have when we're kids are gathered together is Halloween. And before I introduce you, Brad, just don't say y'all do a heck of a job over there, and it's a complicated job. It's y'all basically, if you produce cases, not only just doing the compliance, y'all also work the felony cases when they fail to register or they move, and you're responsible for tracking them down and finding all that stuff. So, with that being said, it's Brad Stroud Jr., not to be confused with Brad Stroud Sr. Yeah. You've been with us now for a total of about 11 years. You worked from the jail, you went through BLET, a road crew, patrol, detective, left for a little bit, got smart and came back, which we're glad to have you. And now you're pretty much running our sex offender compliance division, and we're going to have you another person come over to work with you shortly. It's a hard skill set. And Bill, from working special victims, you understand the skill set it takes.
Sheriff, as I was just sitting here, once you started introducing Brad, talking about all the things that fall under that, you're kind of like a community resource. You're a detective. You're a bounty hunter of people when people aren't out there doing what they're supposed to, or the community resource part is the biggest part to me. And I know Brad and I talked kind of some pregame prep, and we'll get into it before the end of the program. But just because you have to comply with North Carolina's laws may not necessarily mean you have to comply with another state. And just because you may be in another state, it used to be till we got the law changed through a lot of hard work from the North Carolina Sheriff's Association. Now, if you have to register outside North Carolina, well, guess what? Unequivocally, you have to register in the state of North Carolina regardless. And I know back many, many, many years ago when I was over at Special Victims Unit, that was one of the biggest questions was, okay, this person is a registered sex offender in state X, and they're moving here. Well, we may not have a law that was consistent with what their law was, so we had to do a lot of research. We were talking to the Institute of Government, talking to the Sheriff's Association attorneys, talking to that other state to kind of see, and it was a mess.
And our senators, remember the 1,000-foot rule and stuff, and it's kind of cool that we asked Deputy Rankins to stay around, but just as you were speaking for, Brad, y'all work a lot with them because of the schools and the close proximity to residents, especially in Mooresville. We've got the rule as far as how far you can live away from a sex offender and a school and things like that. But before we get to talking, just things, y'all do interviews with the new sex offenders. Y'all have to have all that. You have to advise them of their responsibilities and what they're supposed to do. Investigation and criminal charges as they apply just to the sex offender registry.
Specific law, yeah.
Yeah, specific law and assist citizens because there's a lot of inquiries, even on our app.
I develop a lot of cases based off of the inquiries from the public. So anytime anybody has a question or they're not sure of something, please call. I take those calls personally, and I look into those, and that's how I develop a lot of my cases. So it's great.
And Brad, let me ask you a question, and I didn't think to ask you this earlier today when you and I were talking, but do you still get calls from real estate agents about sex offender registry? And I didn't think you did, and I'll tell you why I think that's the case. We used to get calls, Sheriff, and you remember when you were the major of investigations, people moving in, people want to know about sex offenders, where there's sex offenders in the area. They wanted to know about that like they want to know about the consistency of the schools. But you know how we fixed that, right?
I know exactly what you're going with the app. The app. You download the app, you can go
the website, but now the app is way quicker.
So with the general public, I promote that app all the time. I'm like, hey, if you want to keep up with this, and when people ask me that, it's the best tool that we have to say, hey, who are these people? As far as the information we have, before I can get them charged if they're lying to us, the information is true the best of our knowledge on that app.
Absolutely.
And we can zone in, right where they're at in your neighborhoods. So
and while we're giving a shout out, and I will say, because I have to go home tonight,
that's on my notes here. Yes, you should.
I know that you do a lot of work with the state probation officers, Brad, which that office for sex offenders happens to be right across the parking lot, which makes it convenient for us. But talk about how we work with those men and women over there, keeping. Well, let me set it up and nuance it. If you are on probation as a sex offender, and they have specialized probation officers that handle sex offenders, not only are those registered sex offenders in the community being looked at by us and you specifically, but they're also being looked at by their probation officer.
Yes, sir. Yeah. So we have three separate ones that kind of split up the county: the south, the middle, and the north. Typically on that side of it, I work with all three of them, and it's wonderful. They get information, they share with us. Vice versa, if I get somebody that's on probation, I share with them. A lot of times they're doing legwork that I'm not aware of, or they're hitting a different angle that I'm not thinking about. So it is a really good working relationship. On top of that, on top of not just that, we do some ops.
Well, I was going to let the sheriff touch base on that. Okay. Do you want to touch base with the federal partnership, sir, that we work on that with working sex offenders?
We do. We've always had a good relationship with the U.S. Marshal Service, coming in with our locals, doing our sex offender verification, I guess, if you would. And they give us a lot of oomph on the federal side. And so that's one of the things, and they love doing it. We always try to time it, usually 2 times a year, but usually really around Halloween, because we know with all the church stuff going on, with the school stuff going on, stuff downtown, predators, not saying all of them, but a lot of them still try to find the time and place to try to offend. So that's been one of the good things. And y'all, and I meant to throw this in here also. Y'all do DVO, or domestic violence protection orders, also.
Yep. I kind of the Swiss Army knife of the SVU. We have 4 different divisions within the SVU, and I handle a lot of different things within that. I'm kind of their uniform guy. I go out and help serve warrants, but I spear point, I say, the service of DVOs. They come to me first. They don't come in on the weekends. I take them. I try to get a service on them. That'd be the warrant. And if you don't know what a DVO is, it's a domestic violence protective order. It's kind of like a restraining order. Judge's orders, we evict people. If there's a temporary custody order for children, it's a lot of things, a very powerful piece of paper. And
one of the cool things, Brad, is, and I've seen you and several folks from the Special Victims Unit, I know periodically we will go out, like we check your sex offenders, which you do every day, but from time to time you'll also do domestic violence order compliance checks to make sure that the offender hasn't worked his or her way back in to the victim, whether by threats or whether by intimidation or whether by whatever means. And those have been quite successful in the fact that a judge issues this order, and there the person is living violating that order, and we'll just go ahead and arrest you and take you on to jail like we're supposed to.
Right. Yeah. And I can't take anything away from the patrol guys and everybody else that answering calls all day long. Some of this stuff I get to kind of step away from the everyday calls and go hit some of this stuff, which is stepping out of the domestic violence side, and then hang out with the sex offender people, even the fraud folks, and so we do anything and everything. That's why I kind of say the Swiss Army knife of SVU.
Sure. Well, and no, we'll come back. We got to take a break in about a minute, and we'll be back in about 3 or 4 minutes. But what is these sex offenders? They come in and they do it because they're not used to other counties. What do they think when you're knocking on their door at 4 o'clock in the morning to check and see if they're where they're supposed to be? And what kind of deterrent is that?
I wake them up, and whether they're happy or not, that doesn't bother me at all. I don't mind if they're
Not that
unhappy.
I think it would, but anyway.
You know,
And not that it bothers us either. I mean, you know.
So, you know, as far as whether it's a deterrent, I hope they find it a deterrent and they want to move out of county. So that's kind of my goal. I like to get 1 or 2 to move a month if I can.
That's awesome.
Well, we'll be back in about 2 minutes. We're going to take us a quick break, and we'll come back, Brad, and we'll talk a little what it takes and understand the registry a little bit.
If it touches your family, your schools, your city, or your safety, News Talk WSIC has it covered.
Grub Ferry Road near the intersection at Hollywood Drive will be closed while
News Talk WSIC. Local and North Carolina news now on the new 105.9 100.7 WSIC. News Talk now.
I'm Mike Jackson, WSIC News. Cornelius Today reporting that the Cornelius Town Board approved an expenditure of $170,000, which will be used to provide an additional school resource officer for the town's elementary schools. As a result, Cornelius and J.V. Washam Elementary Schools will each have their own SRO beginning this fall. And WNCN is reporting that nearly a dozen law enforcement agencies partnered in the Raleigh area Friday night and Saturday to crack down on dangerous drivers. In a press release Tuesday, the RPD said that they removed many hazardous drivers from the streets, thus making the community safer. The effort was called Operation Blue Flood and included monitoring key highways in Wake County. There were 5 mobile DWI testing units and a helicopter involved. Now sports with Joe Berg.
The Carolina Panthers released their first depth chart of the offseason, and with no surprise, Bryce Young was slotted in as quarterback number 1. Also tomorrow, PGA Tour from the FedEx Championship begins.
WSIC weather, sunshine today, high of 88. A chance of showers and thunderstorms tonight and Thursday, mostly cloudy overnight with a low of 70. Tomorrow's high 84, sunny and 89 on Friday. Mike Jackson, WSIC News.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay. Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
Jim Gaffigan here with some more Straight Talk. Let's take a moment to appreciate our sweet children, loving grandparents, and eternal soulmates. Now let's use them to save money on wireless. Because with the Straight Talk Silver Plan, you get 4 lines for just $25 a month with unlimited data and no contracts. So add those human loved ones, and save money. Thanks, kids. They're finally worth it. Straight Talk Wireless, available at Walmart.
Get 4 lines on Silver Unlimited for $25 per line per month, plus taxes and fees. For data management practices and additional terms, visit straighttalk.com.
For the ones who work hard to ensure their crew can always go the extra mile, and the ones who get in early so everyone can go home on time, there's Grainger, offering professional-grade supplies backed by product experts so you can quickly and easily find what you need. Plus, you can count on access to a committed team ready to go the extra mile for you. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wake up, people. You are optimizing every waking hour of your life. From carpooling kids, to work, to friends, and everything in between. You have to get sleep, and a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movements, learning how you sleep, so you learn to sleep better, night after night. Sleep next level, only from Sleep Number.
It's the biggest sale of the year. Save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition Smart Bed, plus special financing ends Monday. See store for details.
Maybe it's time that someone told you there is a God and He loves you. The Bible says that we're cut off from our connection with God. Our problems with relationships come from not having a relationship with Him. Our struggles with addiction come from trying to fill the void that only He can fill. We lie because we're running from the one who always tells the truth. We're lonely because He wants to commune with us, but we push Him away. You see, all these things and much more are not the real problem. They're just symptoms. The real problem is that we were created to live in a relationship with God. So how does a person find that relationship? According to the Bible, we are born with that relationship to Him broken, but He loves us and wants to restore that communion, and He's already provided a solution in the person of Jesus Christ. Are you ready to experience life to the fullest? Jesus said, "Come unto me, all you that labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest." 90and9.org.
Visit 90and9.org. NinetyandNine.org. 90and9.org.
Prioritizing your health is one of the best ways to take care of yourself. From routine visits to the joys of pregnancy to the illnesses that stop you in your tracks, Iredell Health System will be by your side. Learn more at iredellhealth.org.
The #1 news station for Lake Norman and Statesville. News Talk WSIC.
Hi, this is Mark Walters. Join me on Armed American Radio as I take a stand for Second Amendment rights. That's Sundays from 8 until 11. I will be on your radio fighting for freedom right here on News Talk 105.9, 100.7 WSIC.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the good, the bad, and the guilty. Thank you, Joe.
I know that, yeah.
That is good music.
It's a little different.
Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for staying tuned with us today, and thank you for those of you that may be joining in just now on WSIC, the good, the bad, the guilty. We're here with Sheriff Darren Campbell today and two of our fine deputies, and we'll talk more about those gentlemen here lately, or in just a minute, rather. But, you know,
we need to start leaving the mics hot.
The mics hot.
That's when we do.
Joe's
That's
in here trying to give NFL Super Bowl advice. Ryan's over here going, "No, it's the Cowboys." Ryan, I love you, but that ain't happening, dog. Just ain't happening.
And I'm a Cowboys fan too. But
That's how you're.
You think? I'm Philly, and I'm not a Philly fan, but
After 30 years.
Oh no.
Maybe with the Browns.
Yeah, maybe. Joe
They're
says
definitely
no.
due.
Joe says Philly. Joe, say Philly.
Yeah, I said I think it's going to be the NFC this year.
Okay, so
I'm gonna
now,
go with
so
Philly.
now
And
we
you
have
also
this,
said Carolina would make the playoffs. You think?
I said maybe.
so now we have
Okay.
this. We have this tape somewhere that we can come back to in February and listen and see if any of us were right.
I'll make sure to note it down.
There you go.
That's right. I'm gonna see where the Browns are. I just got a feeling, and I'm not even a Cleveland fan, but
okay.
I don't know. We'll see.
Let's get back to our show.
All right.
I know people are tuned in for it. Again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in this afternoon for the good, the bad, and the guilty. We are talking about something that's very important to the citizens of Iredell County, and one of the big liability areas and one of the big beneficial areas for the sheriffs, all sheriffs here in North Carolina, but specifically here in Iredell County for Sheriff Campbell, is our sex offender registry, our sex offender compliance officers, and Brad, I know that before break we were talking a little bit about the registry and different things about it, but let's get down and put the rubber where the road is. How many, and ladies and gentlemen, don't be shocked at this answer, because every time I look at it, I'm like, wow.
Well, I think you got to preface it with also we have a division totally dedicated to the investigation of sex crimes. So obviously we're trying to eradicate it and bring it. I mean,
And actually,
that's
as
their
big
job.
as the number is, it's not as big as you would think.
Not compared to 200,000 people.
Not compared to over 200,000 people in population. So, Brad.
Yes, sir.
How many sex offenders do we have here in Iredell County?
Well, as the end of July, we had 347 in the county.
And how many did we pick up last month?
7.
7.
Yeah.
So we picked up 7 new ones last month. And I know that there are some categories of sex offender, and if you can drill down into those for us, kind of tell us what those are and how we go about. Go ahead, Sheriff.
No. Go ahead and finish. I was just going to say that is one of the biggest questions we get asked. Hey, why is this person not on the registry? Why is this? Or well, they are, but some of them come off. So if you ever want to know how you get a lifetime registration and see them on the app and all that good stuff,
yeah,
Brad, you can explain. Make it simple.
Yeah, there's 4 different categories. One is just your regular sex offender, but then they kind of from there it goes much further.
And when you say you're regular, because everybody's asked, what is a regular sex? You talking about the indecent liberties, the things I assume.
Yeah,
the way they're classified.
There's higher classifications of sex offenders. I mean, I'll start with recidivist. A recidivist would be somebody that has been charged at 2 different times, not on the same incident, that would land them on the registry. So we put such a higher priority on those guys, I guess.
So now, just to kind of go back to clarify what you said, this is someone that has committed a crime,
more than once committed a crime.
Committed a crime, been adjudicated guilty in court, then gone back and committed another crime.
Yes, sir.
And been adjudicated in court again.
And both of those said charges would have landed him on the registry.
Or her. Because we do have some.
we have
and that's what I was going to say. We do. We do have
four or
females
five. 4 or 5, I think, in Iredell County.
So
and sorry to interrupt,
No,
Chief.
go ahead.
You can again look on your app. That's a great place to look. But there's really nowhere in the county they're not. I mean, they're everywhere. They're from the far north end of Turkey Foot all the way down to Davidson. I mean, we have a very wide spectrum, east to west, county line to county line. We have they're not a real great place that they're not. They're just everywhere. So
okay, so for those people that may be listening who are wondering, why can't you put these people in prison, especially the recidivists?
Oh, I do put them in prison.
Yeah, you do. You do.
Yes,
That's
you
the
do.
investigative
Yes, you
side
do.
of it.
Yeah,
but now
that's the best part.
To go back, this could have been because and there again, Sheriff, and you are right. Even when I was there many years ago, people were always like, "I can't believe you're out of prison." This could be someone that committed a crime years ago, may have gotten prison time, and have come out and committed again.
Yeah.
So those are the ones that we really try to keep a good close eye on, a good quality check system for.
Yeah, and with what you're saying, putting people in prison, there are labels, I mean, of sex offender that there's even misdemeanor charges. I mean, that just some of the charges. Sexual battery is one, if somebody wanted to look that up. It's unwanted physical contact for sexual gratification. That is something that is a misdemeanor. I wish it was a felony, but it's not.
Right.
Everything that I charge on the back end, which is registry violations, every one of them's a felony except for one. So putting them in prison, yeah, I mean, I charge them with after the fact. They get into the label of sex offender.
And they make that decision. If they go back to jail, it's not. They made the decision.
Oh, yeah, and I try to educate these people, I give, just like I would give any other citizen of the county, I give them my number. If there's a question, my job is for them to be compliant. I give them every opportunity to be compliant. When they come in on their initial registry on that interview, I take the time to make sure they understand these rules. And then I make them sign a paper because it's part of the registry saying they understand. And I will use that in court against them as well.
Thank you, because that paper where they basically sign,
it's a duty to register.
I understand everything you just told me.
Yeah.
So that when they don't, Sheriff, and this is one thing you and I spoke about, when they don't fuss at us.
Yeah.
You were told, you said you understood, and I know you have actually received complaints from time to time from the. Well, I didn't know. I didn't know.
Well, you too.
I hope so.
Well,
I hope
not
so
necessarily
from them.
on you, but
No.
I mean, them, complaining about the laws.
Well, and I got a question, Brad, and this kind of may put you on the spot, or it may or may not. If we did not have this, because everybody does not have the compliance officers actually go out in the field and search out the people that's not there. If we didn't have you and your partner, which is fixing to get a new one, I don't want to surprise you yet.
I don't know.
You already know.
Yeah,
Okay, whatever. But Bill must have told you. But how many of these sex offenders would not be where they're supposed to be if they didn't know who was going to check at any given time?
Well,
and this should be probably a scary
that would be a hard
Yeah,
answer to give, but I can tell you that it still happens with us checking, so I know it would be much worse if we weren't.
And a lot of people don't understand, and Ryan Stewart, Deputy Rankins, is with us. And I want to get this before we go to this break. We got another one coming up pretty quick. But Ryan, his work, and you've been in school, and along with all the other SROs, a lot of times these offenders are, they're against children, and well, most of the time they are. But anyway, how much does that sort of roll over, without just specifics of a case, but how many times often do you see your question about it, or a teacher may want to look at on our app to see, hey, I believe this person's a sex offender, or I've seen it, and here they are at the school?
Quite a bit. Someone might spot one at Pee Wee basketball games, and then they notify me, and then I make SBU aware of the incident.
That opens up the case, because they're, again, going back. He's already explained to them what you can and what you can't do.
There should be no question. Yeah.
Yeah, and there's rare occasions when attorneys will work with things where they get access to certain events with supervision, but for the most part, we want to protect our kids and our citizens in general.
Well,
to build. Oh, sorry.
You are on record, and we have said it before as an agency. We want to make it as legally uncomfortable. Hear what I say? As legally uncomfortable on these sex offenders as we possibly can. we are here to protect our children. We're here to protect our citizens, and we're going to do it, and we continue to do it. And Brad and them do a good job of getting it done.
Yeah, this is one of the best jobs I've had since I've got to work for you. And
I told you that before you left the first time.
Yeah, this is a lot of fun, and it's not. I mean, I enjoy the investigation side of it. There's a ton of information that I get to share with. Maybe I give it through his supervisors.
There's a lot of You're right. There's a lot between you, the SRO division, our criminal investigation, even our narcotics division, probation, parole, U.S. Marshals. So there's a lot of it. But listen, we're going to take a quick break. We'll wrap up when we come back for our little bit longer segment or conversation. So we'll be back in just a few minutes.
If you have an upcoming event, let WSIC spread the word. Go to WSICnews.com and click on the community calendar button. WSIC, proud to be part of your community.
Here's your WSIC community calendar. Just a few more weeks until Kane Center for the Arts' first performance of the 2024 fall season lineup. Asheville native Kanan Cox will be performing Friday, August 25th. The show starts at 8 p.m. Kane Center for the Arts 2024 fall season. Buy your season tickets now at kanearts.org. That's CAIN arts.org. Looking for something fun to do with your kids this summer? Birkdale Buds is hosting their weekly playtime in the plaza. Bring your preschool-aged bud for playtime between 10:30 and 12 noon every Wednesday through October. The activities include games, face painting, storytellers, magicians, arts and crafts, plus more. There's no cost and no registration required. Bring a blanket and come join the fun. For more details, visit BirkdaleVillage.com. Ever wonder what Mooresville was like in 1873? The historic Downtown Walking Tour is a self-guided tour that will take you on a stroll through Mooresville's past to learn about the history of the town. Featuring 18 stops, the tour begins and ends at Avenue. It should take 1 hour to go.
Hello, caller.
Hello?
Hey,
Hello,
you're on Good, the Bad, and Guilty.
Hello?
Hey, can you hear us? Oh.
Yeah, well, I'm having a lot of problems here because of that storm, okay? I'm sorry about that.
Hey, he said we'll come back in about 2 minutes. Can you? Well, if you got a question for us, if you don't mind, I'd love to come back to you when we come on the air.
Yes, I would love that.
Absolutely. Hey, give me about 2 minutes, and we'll come back on. He'll reintroduce, and we'll start from there.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm Nick Rice with your WSIC forecast. As we head into the rest of the afternoon, it's going to stay sunny with a high in the upper 80s. Tonight, partly cloudy, a low of 70. On Thursday, there's a 60% chance of a shower or a thunderstorm. Otherwise, it's going to be mostly cloudy with a high of 87. Thursday night, 30% chance of showers and thunderstorms before 8. I'm Nick Rice from WSIC's Weather Center.
North Carolina weather is like a roller coaster. Too hot, too cold, raining, snowing. Don't like it? Wait 5 minutes, it might change. When we get those super nice days, you don't want to be outside doing yard work. No, you want to be doing fun stuff like playing with your dog, hiking, or whatever else. Let Eddie Josie handle the yard work. Eddie Josie does mowing, trimming, excavation, tree removal, and more. Plus, he takes care of the cleanup. Call Eddie Josie today at 704-902-4707. 704-902-4707.
Whatever the story,
we have to end our dependence on China.
have your say.
This debt crisis is going to set our economy back big time.
This is WSIC News Talk Now.
Welcome back to the Good, the Bad, and the Guilty. I think we've got about another 10 minutes to talk. Brad, we still got you. We still got Deputy Rankins and Bill, as always, or just Bill.
Yes, sir.
And I believe we've got a caller that came in on the break. So, Joe, if you'll put them through, we're ready to go. Hello, you're on with the Good, the Bad, and the Guilty.
Hey.
Hey.
Yes. I live in Iredell County, and my daughter went on the internet. There's 36 of them living right in this area.
You know that, well, I don't know which area, just roundabout area are you calling from?
Well, I live right off of 70.
Okay.
I'm just gonna say right off of 70, and not too far from not far from Triplet Road.
Absolutely.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
I'm telling you, my daughter went on there. I could not believe there was that many in this area. 36 of them.
Yeah, is this the first time did she just get the app and go just look at it?
No. This happened
Okay.
a while ago, but I don't have my grandkids. My grandkids are big now. They live in Jersey. They're 24
Yes.
and 18. But I'm going to tell you something right now. You know what? God forgive me, but if somebody touched one of my grandkids or even my kids, they would not be a trial. Okay? I'm telling you right now.
Hey, we're right. We're all of us in here has been parents at one time or the other, I think. So we totally agree with you, and thanks for calling. And actually, Joe, you're going to hear a little bit in the conversation. He actually went on the app just a while ago, so we're going to talk exactly what you're saying now and what he's seen, okay?
I'm sorry. I don't mean to be like a vigilante, but that's the way it would be.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, and thank you for calling in.
Thank you for
very
calling,
much.
Thank you. Appreciate
yes,
it.
ma'am.
Thank you. God bless you.
So,
Thank
Joe,
you. Yeah,
you searched the radio station.
Yeah, I just kind of did from the northmost part of my screen is the radio station, so going into downtown, and there's red dots galore. It looks like about 15 to 20 just right there.
It's surprising.
It is surprising.
It's surprising. And you know, on the app, and you can click on it. I think he was saying well, Brad, I guess you can explain it better because you was over here. I can tell you honestly use the app a lot.
I explain about it all the time. I know.
So he's So when you go, you're going to see the red bubble. So what do you go from there once you click on the sex offender?
Well, let me back up. When you
Okay.
pull it up, it's going to show your location, and so you can zoom in or zoom out. If you zoom out too far, it's going to say there's 4 in that bubble or there's 24 in that bubble. So you kind of zoom in. As you zoom in, and you can find specific information on each one of the offenders. So there is an information bubble in the top right screen. Is that right, Joe?
Yes.
You're
So
looking
there's
at it.
if you click on it, it's actually right on the person's name. There's
Right on the name.
information number.
You hit the little I. You could go right to where what they've been charged with. I think there's a conviction time. It gives their picture. Everything that you would really want to know about why this person is there. And then you can dig further if you'd like. If it's somebody that's right beside of you, obviously you want to know a little bit more.
No, Brad.
And this may be somebody you've known for a long time and have no idea. So
now, just one caveat: no one can legally use this information to harass or intimidate any of these individuals. All right, so let us just go ahead and put that out there. You can't use any information on the registry to harass or intimidate. So just putting that out there.
Yeah, and I think we comply with the public records law
We do.
for us.
We absolutely do.
And also the old school way, you can still, we're required by law on the front of our desk at the main sheriff's office to have a book that's updated, and I'm sure you look at that book, and I'm sure we have to keep it updated, is you can actually come through everything and look, just so if you're there getting your gun permits, you can still see an actual physical printed copy of our sex offender registry.
And Sheriff, let me throw you a bone, and this is something that I just remembered. So this is not something that we've talked about, but I want to throw you a bone, talking about Offender Watch, and about how we are. I say you as a sheriff. We are one of the only handful of agencies in the state.
Two agencies
in the state that use this technology that is way faster, more comprehensive, and just really awesome program.
Yes, Offender Watch, and I think you can search it on our website, or I think it's on the app too. I can't remember if it's on the app, but because it's proprietary or whatever they call it, where we can't link certain things to certain stuff. But Offender Watch is used by us and Brunswick County Sheriff's Office on the Eastern Coast, and basically it's a souped-up version of tracking sex offenders and getting stuff back. A lot more digital, a lot more. We seen that years ago, and the SBI is tasked with maintaining a lot of the digital stuff, which is too much to get into here, but on a state level. And Offender
Watch is like that program on steroids.
It's new and improved.
It's
10.0.
so much better.
10.0. It's a newer version, and we'll see what they present. And a lot of stuff is instead of old paper copies, a lot of it's digital. Do emails, and we do that. You see Offender Watch, we send out updates. We can do a lot of stuff by using this service. So,
and there again, it's just another way to use of technology, because as our listeners know, and I know our guys that are here with us today know, you put a premium on technology, and you put a premium on us keeping the citizens of Arnold County safe, and this is just another way through Offender Watch that we're doing that. Plus putting shoe leather on the street with Brad and the folks from Special Victims Unit getting out and verifying and checking these folks. So, Brad, let me ask a silly question. What happens when you go out and you find a offender that is not being compliant, whether they're living in a place where they're not supposed to be, or they've done something, or they haven't registered like they're supposed to? What does that criminal investigation look like? Because we've already talked about how you guys conduct those investigations. What does that look like?
So, case by case basis is going to be different every time. But as fast as I can get probable cause, unless there's some other reason, I'm drawing a warrant. So if I'm going out to knock on a door and I see an eviction notice served by our office, and I see, okay, this guy, and this has happened, so this is one of the many ways that I can go about, but I go out, I don't always talk maybe as I should to the eviction folks, but hey, I saw that you guys put an eviction notice on the door. Well, that's where my registered sex offender should be living. Well, that's a prime piece of evidence saying, well, I know he doesn't live here. Our office has evicted him.
Right.
So now he has if it's within this county per se, because where they move to, the rules kind of change. But say it's within this county and they move to a hotel because they've been displaced from that house for the eviction purposes.
Which happens.
Yep, all the time. If he doesn't come within those 3 business days that he's supposed to show up, then that's enough for a warrant. I mean, we're going to go get him. So
one of the things that we used to have occur when I was over there was someone would transfer, not on probation, but someone would want to transfer from, let's say, I don't know, a county way down east to Iredell County. Explain that process a little bit.
Yeah, so it's probably easier to explain in moving out. If you move to another county, if you move from another county from
let's say you want to go from Iredell to Carteret.
Yeah, so they would have to come here first. Let us know we're going. The idea behind that is we have a packet. We have Offender Watch is one of the reasons why we keep all that information. DCI is also a place which is what
the SBI is over.
Division of Criminal Information. Yes.
Both are stored there. We send that to, where did you say, Carteret County, and then they have 10 days to report there. So it's a 2-part system. If they just go there and say, hey, I live here now, and they don't tell us, that's just a violation. That is a violation. I'm going to charge them in Iredell County. And here's the cool part. Maybe y'all might yell at me for this, but I get a warrant here, and they don't want to. The DA's office or whoever, they don't want to pick them up in Carteret County all the way at the beach. That just means there's another sex offender not come back to Iredell County. So
or you a trip to the beach, because if it's a
or
felony,
I'll go to the beach. Yeah, whichever way.
A lot of people don't understand. He can arrest if it's a felony committed here. He can drive all the way anywhere across the state and make the arrest.
So let's say that they do everything perfectly here. They come in, Brad, I'm going to Carteret. We send our stuff to Carteret. Carteret's like, okay, we don't really want them, but we'll take them.
They don't really have a choice.
Well, then if they don't go to Carteret and show up, that's also a violation.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That's basically absconding at that point. So,
well, and the feds and the states got to get on the same system. We run into problems with out-of-state notification because their laws are different than what ours is. And then there's so many laws. Yeah, and I think 10 days to notify where you can be on a trip. I can't remember exactly what it is. I know we've dealt with it before, but
with the different states have different laws.
And Offender Watch would help us with that.
Absolutely.
And it does help us.
I have tried to sell some other agencies on it. So I've had some people come down taking a look at it. I don't know that they got into it yet, but it is a great system. If we all use the same system, it'd be easier. So I think there's one other.
So it would be easier. It would be faster, and it would keep the citizens of North Carolina.
And it's newer.
Safer.
It's newer technology. I mean, it's so. But you was going to say something about, take Texas for example.
Well, and that's what I was going to say. There are some other states that are not as tough on it. North Carolina, and especially Iredell County, we want a tough stance on sex offenders, and so there's other states that may be tougher, but we're pretty tough. And I like the laws. Some of it could be always looking to change to be better, but other states, when we have to work within those, they don't share information the same way or get the judgment from why they have to register in the first place. Sometimes it's like pulling teeth. I hate to say it that way, but California is one I'm working on my desk right now. So
not California.
Yeah.
Say it ain't so.
Not that we didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
So
well, ladies and gentlemen,
you are still over there. I just want to make sure you hadn't. I heard that laugh.
So, Sheriff, if anybody would be interested in a program or anybody would want to know more information about sex offender program or sex offender registry, how would they go about getting that?
They can go on to our website, iredellsheriff.com, and that's the best way to find all of our emails, or simply call the office. You can ask for Brad Stroud. You can ask for myself. You can ask for Bill Hamby. we will get you in touch with the right person. But there is, especially large congregations of churches and different businesses, sometimes like to be updated on this because that's one of the most searched. And I will say this on the app: the most searched is our sex offender and our jail. And our jail.
So, with school starting back, it would be good if school groups were interested. Or one thing that I used to have a lot, Brad, and I don't know if you guys still do or not, but daycares. Want to know about daycares, what they can do, what people can do, how people can drop kids off or not. So if you're interested in that, ladies and gentlemen, please give us a call at the Sheriff's Office, and we'll be glad to help you out.
And we'll be back next Wednesday. At what time, Bill?
3 o'clock.
To 4. Nobody's mad at us now about taking Handy's spot. Hey, we can talk politics, too,
maybe
next
they're
time.
Getting used to us.
Hey, we'll do it. So we'll see you next Wednesday at the same time. Thanks for joining us.
The new 105.9